What up, crew? Today I want to read to you one of my favorite books. It's called Art Dog, and it is written and illustrated by Thatcher Hurd. So he wrote the book, but also did all of the illustrations. And I wonder, because Arthur the dog works in an art museum, if you'll be able to recognize some of the works of art in his museum. Here we go. Arthur the dog was a guard at the Dogopolis Museum of Art. He really liked his job. He liked guarding the paintings by Vincent van Gogh and Pablo Poodle, but Leonardo da Vinci was Arthur's favorite painter. At night, Arthur came home to his little apartment on West 17th Street, made himself dinner, and read until it was time for bed. Arthur led a quiet life. He seldom went out, except on nights when the moon was full. On those nights, Arthur's eyes grew bright, and his fur seemed to glisten. He would take out a box he kept in his closet. He'd put on a hat and a mask and tiptoed down the back stairs into the streets of Dogopolis. He crept down an alley, and when he was sure no one was around, he unlocked the box and took out paints and brushes. He painted a slash of lightning, a splash of sunshine, and dozens of glowing lights in the night. He painted monsters 10 feet tall, fish with tails the size of houses, and frogs ready to hop over skyscrapers. He's a really good artist. When he was finished, he crept home, a dog alone, wondering if anyone would ever notice his paintings. No one saw him paint or sign his paintings with a splat of his tail and the name Art Dog. No one knew who Art Dog really was. Until one night at the museum, crash! A window was broken, a door was busted. Ring, ring, the alarm went off, and footsteps clattered down the alley behind the museum. Uh-oh. Police screeched to the scene of the crime. The director of the museum was not far behind. Yikes, the Mona Wolfa's gone, cried the museum director. Look what they left instead of a Leonardo da Vinci. Oh, man, this looks like a Mona Lulu to me, said the chief of police. The paint's still wet, said the museum director. It's dripping everywhere. Find me the culprit, barked the chief of police. They nabbed the first dog that they found in the alley. It was Art Dog. His eyes had a certain glow to him, and his fur seemed to glisten in the moonlight. He also had a paintbrush in his paw. Get him, said the chief of police. They threw him in jail. Oh, man, but was he the guy responsible? When no one was looking, he pulled out a brush and a tube of paint, and he painted a ladder in his cell. Climbed up the ladder, and where there were bars, he painted a window and jumped out. Whew. Back onto the streets of Dogopolis. Then he put his nose in the air. What was he sniffing? Suddenly he took out his brush and his paints, and zip, splash, swoosh, he painted himself a brushmobile with his name on the side. I need me one of those. He whizzed over to the Acme paint factory to fill his tank. So instead of gas, he's using paint. Then he roared off into the night, over highways and bridges, through the park and past the ballet, leaving a trail of paint behind him as he went. He slammed on the brakes in front of a deserted warehouse. He sniffed, he tiptoed, he looked inside. 3 nasty-looking mutts were getting ready to ship something to a distant port. He took a closer look. It was the Mona Wolfa. Yikes, he said. They're trying to get away with their crime. The mutts turned around. Hey, what are you doing here? Said the biggest mutt. Gosh, I must have made a wrong turn, said Art Dog. You can say that again, said the mutts. It looked like big trouble for our Art Dog. There was only one thing left to do. Paint! En garde, touché. You got him. What a masterpiece! Wow, said the chief of police as he arrived at the museum director. How'd you know where the Mona was? Art Dog wiggled his nose. I can smell art a mile away, he said. The director of the museum said, I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Art Dog, said Art Dog, pointing to his brushmobile. Art Dog, I like the way you paint. How about a show at our museum sometime? Sure thing, said Art Dog as he sped away in the brushmobile. Soon it was the night for Art Dog's big show at the Dogopolis Museum of Art. Everyone stood around and sipped root beer as they waited to meet Art Dog and see his paintings. But where was he? Where were his paintings? And for that matter, wondered the museum director, where's Arthur? He should be on the job tonight. Suddenly, there was a sound. Everyone rushed outside just in time to see Art Dog high in the sky, finishing his masterpiece. Everyone was amazed and speechless. Then suddenly he was gone. Who was Art Dog? Who was the painter in the brushmobile who would catch cricks and bring light to the Dogopolis night? No one knew for sure. And there's Arthur guarding the Mona Woofa, back where it belongs. Of course, we have our Mona Lisa, don't we? Now, Art Dog can fight crime and solve mysteries, but he has a helper friend that could do a really good job as well. And I think we'll draw him today. His name is Dogman. So, if you get a piece of paper and a pencil, keep it light till you get it right, you can follow along and we can do a Dogman drawing together. I'm going to use a Sharpie just because I want you to be able to see it better with the black Sharpie. All right. So once you have your piece of paper, we are going to start in the middle, about in the middle, with a horizontal line. So horizontal is sideways, and we're just going to go like that, kind of a medium-sized horizontal line. Next, we're going to add his nose on the right side, and that nose shape is an oval. So an oval is just a stretched out circle. So we're going to make it like that. If you want, you could even fill it in. I'm going to leave a little highlight for the bright spot and then fill in the rest black for his nose. Now, we are going to finish his head shape, and we're going to start now on the left side of that horizontal line that we made and go up and around and then connect back to the nose on the other side. So we're going to start here. We're going to go up, 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 and around and all the way back to the nose. Boom. And we have made the shape of Dogman's head. Next, we'll kind of finish off his face. So he has two eyes. They're kind of like curvy rectangles, almost like little macaroni noodles. So I'm going to curve, go over, curve back up, connect, and he does have black eyes, so I'm going to fill that in right now. You can do it now or later if you want. And then, of course, eye number 2 would be the same shape, so we just curve, over, curve back up, connect, and again, you can fill it in. All right, so Dogman, like Art Dog, is very happy, so we're going to add a smile in there. So we're going to just kind of curve over. He's got a couple dots for whiskers, so we're going to put 1, 2, 3 dots there, and then he kind of has his whiskers for a beard underneath his smile. So we'll go with some diagonal and vertical lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now Dogman has ears, and just like Art Dog, they're kind of an oval shape as well. So we're going to go up and around and back to his head. There's one ear, and then ear number 2, same shape, up and around and back to the head. All right. Now, Dogman has like his police hat. It's kind of a square rectangle shape. So we're going to start with kind of a diagonal on the top of his head. We're going to go up and then over horizontal and then back diagonal to the head. And then the brim of his hat just kind of shoots out in front as well. So we're just going to go out and back in. Now he has that like sheriff badge logo on his hat. So it's going to be like the letter U and then kind of a stretched out W. So whoop. And that's his badge shape, kind of a wavy line and a curvy line. We'll make his body next, so kind of like the hat, it's kind of a boxy square rectangle. So I'm just going to go slight diagonal, horizontal, and diagonal back up, or vertical back up. Right? Now, one of his arms, we'll use some lines again. Lines create shapes, so I'm going to go out and down, over, up, back to the body. It's kind of like the letter L. Now Dogman's paw is just going to be 3 bumps. 1, 2, 3, and back to the arm. There's one. Now the other arm I'm going to curve out, so if you want to, you can have Dogman holding something. I I might have him holding a paintbrush like his pal Art Dog here, but you can have whatever you want. You can use your imagination. So I'm just going to curve out the other way, kind of like the letter L again, and then back to the body. 3 bumps, 1, 2, 3. All right. Boxy rectangles and tubes again for the legs. So if you can make squares, rectangles, ovals, you can make a lot of different characters. Here we go. So rectangle down, over, up. Rectangle down, over, up. And now his shoes are again just like ovals. Okay. So from one side of the pant leg, I'm just going to curve out and back around. Same thing on the other side, curve out and back around. And remember, when you're drawing, if you need to pause or rewind or go back a little bit, that's totally fine. All right, that's why it's a video, so you can do that. Now we're going to make that same sheriff badge shape on his jacket. It's just going to be bigger than the one on the hat. So a bigger letter U, and then a bigger stretched out W. Swoop, swoop. There you go. There's his badge. And now, like I said before, you can have his hand holding anything you want. So I might go with Art Dog's paintbrush here. Fighting crime with art. So I'm going to just make a tube. And then kind of the bristles of the brush and maybe some texture marks. And then maybe he's making some cool texture or spirals or lines with paint. Or maybe I'll do 3, one for each of the primary colors. So when you add color to your work, you could do that too. Or whatever your heart desires. All right, Art Dog meets Dog Man. So I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed the drawing. And maybe you could write your own story and do your own illustrations too. Have fun.